Wow, you have a sunset in the back. Dana, that's nice. Hi guys, welcome to oGT functional track. Commission call in October. Okay, almost speak November. Okay. How are you guys doing? Woo woo! I see. Poppy is happy. How are you guys doing? Dana is good, right? How about other people? Good. Okay, how do we pronounce good? Okay, I try to pronounce it. Okay. And how about other people? Are you still alive? Usually October is a month that people are quite not very active, but then yeah. How are you guys doing? Michelle, how are you? What, Susan? Amazing. You are amazing. Amazing. Okay. Cool. Okay. Welcome guys to come to oGT track today. So I don't have a lot of stuff for today, but then mostly that would be 2 GCP sharing, which is coming from V. So she's from Vietnam. So she was going to share about like sales audit system that she have in Vietnam. Secondly, also we have the one like he was going to sharing more about like how to design safety guideline, because they are one of the entity have done it already. So and then afterward we're going to have some heads up again for November call to action to recap again like what the things you need to be aware on November. Okay. And last but not least, we'll have a discussion space. Okay. I hope I have time for it. Okay. Yeah. So without further ado, okay, to welcome our guest of today. Okay. So firstly, we will invite V to talk about like how she designed her oGT sales audit system. So yesterday we actually have a co-working space as well. But then that's why now I will bring you a real case that like how we was doing, because if you're looking into Isaac in Vietnam's performance, they have been the most they have the most applicant applying to our partner in AP. If I didn't remember, it's 44% from application to from application to our partner. And then they are also the one that converting a lot to the our partner as well. So I really want you guys to listen to her sharing in terms of how she built up her sales team in Isaac in Vietnam. Yeah. So I will pass the time to V. Wait, V, do you want to share screen?
Yes, I can share the screen.
Okay,
Hello.
cool.
Hello everyone. Okay, so let me share my screen. Share screen. Okay, so can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So hello everyone. So in here I will have a very like short sharing. Let me present. Okay, you can see my screen, right? Okay. Okay, so what I will share today. So first, a very brief like clarity of why I think it's really important for us to do sales auditing. Secondly, is I will present like so what will be the criteria, the competency, and the value that I have used to audit my members, and then some notice and tips for you when doing the auditing. And lastly, like to define who's the PIC in auditing and what is the PIC layer. Okay, so you all cool with that, okay? So first, for the clarity of why, so before coming in, I just have one question very fast, like how will a member in Isaac will, like, how can a member in Isaac learn? Yeah, how a member in Isaac will learn in Isaac. So can you type, do you have any idea? You can open your mic and say just an open question, how will you learn in Isaac? So what practical experience? Hi, thank you. Okay, so thank you. Yes, practical experience. And what else? Is there anything else? Feedback. Yay, thank you for supporting the session. Education, mistake. Yes, cool. So thank you, everyone. Yeah, so here is a simple chart of how a member is learning and developing Isaac. So I believe that you like all know or all heard about it. So 10%, I think I have made a bit mistake there. So it's about like coaching and training. I think it's a bit switch. And so, but the largest part is learning by doing. yeah, so an Isaac member we develop the most because we let the member a space so they can learn by doing it by themselves. No matter how hard the task is, we let them do it. Not like only let them do easy job, but let them do very hard and difficult, challenging job. And learning by doing. So what exactly like learning by doing mean? So at first, in my understanding, learning by doing means uh, we will like let them just do it and they will learn. But then I realized that it doesn't mean that they just do it and they will develop because they do it. Because that's, for example, if you do something and then you don't receive any news perspective about what you are doing, so how will you develop? Or you just repeatedly doing the things that not right, and at the end it's still not right. So yeah, so it doesn't mean like that. So but learning by doing mean they do and they get feedback on what they are doing, and they develop via acknowledging what is their strength and their mistake in the job that they have done. So, for example, when we give training about sales, maybe they will feel very wow, like wow, we it's so amazing skill, amazing technique, but actually talking always easier than doing. So when they do, they will start having mistake, and they will start like, and they don't know what they don't know, you know. Like there are some times they don't acknowledge they are having mistake, but if they have someone to be there to auditing them, to like listen to what they are selling and then give them a direct feedback like, okay, that is not right, or that is not correct enough to do, that will be their wow moment in Isaac. So I think this is just reflect by your experience. I think the time that you will learn the most is the time that you acknowledge you are doing wrong, not like receiving training from MC or from any leader of yours, but to acknowledge how wrong or how right you are. So that is why auditing very important, because it will support you to evaluate your sales capacity, your member sales capacity, and to so you can check whether it's in the like cross the minimum or not. So without self audit, first the member cannot be aware what they are lacking and what they should enhance more. Yeah, and secondly, without self audit, as you as a leader like LCVP or MCVP, you cannot know what is wrong in the operation result and how to improve it. So sometimes if we don't audit, we will give them really like nonsense suggestion because we don't know what's their problem. So our suggestion is just based on our assumption. And even if we ask them, so what's your problem? But it doesn't mean that they can answer what is the exact their problem. But they need us to watch, to observe, and to like see, so that's the problem of you. Okay, so that's sort of why. And so to wrap up, the objective of self audit is first so when you make a criteria, each of the member will know what will be the minimum competency and values that will help them to achieve their goal. Secondly, our self auditing will help you to enhance your member sales capacity. Your LCVP, OCP understand more about the current sales capacity. And lastly is to boost up your sales funnel, because you will know what exactly problem with your member, and then design education that suits the problem of your salesman in the commission. Okay, so here will be, so I will just talk about like what will be the competencies value. So first, I will check about ice breaking skill. Like second is about their understanding about Isaac, about the process and the GT understanding. Thirdly, I will check there in how they get the insights and how they align the insight with what we have, which is the support, which is the opportunity from our IR partner. Then I will check them about their communication skill. Lastly, I will check them in how they are closing the deal. Okay, so this, and actually my thinking flow is that I will based on the sales flow. So as you can see, here's the basically the sales flow, and this is also the our like standardized sales flow in Vietnam. So that is why to make the criteria for your entity, you will need to have a standardized sales flow first, and then just come up with the criteria based on the flow from the beginning to the end. Okay, so I will talk more about like first ice breaking. So what does that mean? So that's the ability to start a conversation effectively. So in this, you check whether like your member can start a conversation in a friendly and professional way. For example, before coming to the consultancy meeting sales, whether they check the Facebook of the lead first to know their personal interest. For example, if they're interested in K-pop, you can come there and talk more about K-pop to opening. Yes, or if they're interested about anything, your member can find out about that in their Facebook or in their any social media profile first. Then you will check whether your yeah, so that is what I just said, like to showcase in advance what is the like your understanding about the lead before coming. Yeah, it's more about preparation. And lastly, whether your member can create a comfortable atmosphere, like can be really energetic and can really be open, so the lead will feel open as well. So secondly, when I have done checking the ice breaking, I will check about whether they understand the organization, like so whether they have the capacity to explain the customer about global talent, about the process, about our IR partner, and as well as Isaac in general. So first, I will check whether they can provide like basic information. For example, what is the process time, how to apply, how to use the system. Secondly, it's about like whether they can able to provide the information related to our IR partner, like whether if they ask about, like for me it's about my IR partner is like Indonesia, Malaysia, so whether if they ask about those countries they can answer or not. Lastly, whether they can be able to provide information about, like for example, your entity legality, if someone asks like whether you legal or not, or the history of exchange performance if the lead asks that, or whether they can showcase it, or like if they have any concern about our product minimum, whether they can answer it. Okay, so next I will check about communication. So which means like whether they have the ability to convey everything very easy to understand for the lead. First is about whether they can express exactly what he or she wants to express, like maybe by words or by language, or like by integrate the emotion into sales. Secondly, whether they can communicate effectively in a diverse range of people, because like maybe they will meet like a young lead or an older lead. It can be male or female, so whether they can being very like flexible to talk with different type of people and different characteristics. Then whether they can keep appropriate stakeholder in matching process informed. So it means like later on when they start become our applicant, so whether they can like always give them the necessary information about the opportunity or about the requirement for them. And lastly, very important in sales, so for me is that whether when they talk about the product or about the stories, can they integrate their feeling in that, the emotion in that, so the person in opposite, they can understand how believe they are in the product and they can be inspired by them also. Yeah, and continue for the insight and alignment. So this is a really important part. So it's about to check whether they can know the insight of the lead and give them the solution, the suitable solution. So first, I will check whether they can have the ability to actively listen and ensure like knowing more about the lead insights and pain point or gain point by asking for clarification. Yeah, and then after listening, whether they can ask insightful and follow-up question to dig down more, to know more. So what exactly is the motivation of the lead, the pain point or the gain point? Thirdly, so after listening and then asking, and they have a data, they have a bunch of data from the lead, right? So whether they can actively solve all of the lead insights, like whether they can pitch the solution for the product, and they can pitch what is the benefit that, for example, like an internship in Indonesia can solve their problem in like building their career path, like that, whether they can solve it and match with our like IR partner opportunity. And lastly, whether they can share the information in very like open and honest way, like in a very authentic way. Because for example, in Vietnam, people will really not like if you sell something that it seems fake, So that is why it's really important for the lead to share in a very open and authentic way, so the lead can believe in what is the product impact can bring to them. And lastly, it's about closing deal. Okay, so this to check like whether we can have the applicants in that sales CM mean consultative meeting, and or at least some action step for the lead. So which means we will check whether they can push the lead to apply immediately in that consultative meeting. That's our first priorities, because we always want lead to do it right in the meeting, the sales meeting. After that, for example, if they don't apply in that, so whether the salesman can have a very clear action step, like time like how many days after this consultancy meeting the lead should apply for it. And lastly, a mutual agreement, like for example, after this meeting, what will be the action step of the lead, like to sign up in this or to read more this, or especially to have the lead confirmation, like whether they agree to go on with us and to start the process of matching. So it's really important in closing the deal. Okay, so there are some notice. So first, when you do the audit, you remember to follow the flow, like to feedback based on the flow. So when you give the feedback, the member can recall what exactly is at that part. Secondly, is to take note as much as possible, so you can have the evidence to show to them this is what they have said. Then cross-check with the competencies, then also list down the behavior which show in the competency, and evaluate good point, improving point as a last step. So to be more understanding for you, I can give you an example here. So for example, this is an like a place when we will take note. For example, we will take note and right here, so we can look whether it matches with the competency, and especially when you take the note, the member will have the evidence to show that they are actually saying that, because sometimes they don't aware they have said that thing. So, and give your good points and remember here. And furthermore, we can also have the tracking like this. So here the tracking, so I think it's the same with what in the yesterday workshop. So it's more about like we like based on these things, and we will mark each member like score. So at the end you will know what is the performance of one member, and for this we can report this for the LCVP as well. Yeah, so this is like a tool like that. Okay, so then, okay, let's continue. And so that's some notice and some framework as reference, which I can take a look. And so lastly, it's about, so who will be the PIC in implementing? Okay, so for this, so first, this is MCVP and ESD sales. So this is the case in Vietnam. Okay, so the ESD will be the one who audit the sales team leader. So which means my sales will directly go to that sales pitch of the sales team leader and listen and take note for him directly. Yeah, and then ESD can audit the salesman as well. Yeah, and especially the sales team leader need to be the one who also audit the salesman, because for the ESD will mainly audit the sales team leader, and it is optional for ESD to audit the salesman, because we have a lot of salesmen. So ESD just one person, that person cannot like go everywhere to audit. So that's why it's really important the sales team leader need to have the responsibility of auditing their direct member. Okay, so next is how about our role as MCVP? So I will instruct the vice president SVP how to audit and how to like track whether the sales team leader is auditing their salesman or not. And sometimes if I'm free, I can directly audit the sales team leader as well, but I'm not doing that. Yeah, because my ESD is really based on the capacity of your ESD. For example, my ESD, she has a lot of experience in the past of auditing, so that's why I just let her do it, and I'm not doing it. And for the vice president, they need to be the one who directly audit the sales team leader as well, because they need to support the ESD in doing that, and they will need to know the capacity of their TL. Yeah, so basically that's all of the flow of auditing in Vietnam. So I hope it can helpful for you. Okay, so it's the end. If you have any question, you can ask me.
Oh, thanks, V. Anyone have any questions? Sure.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi, we how frequent do you audit this?
The frequency, right? Yeah. So at first, so the frequency will be different from each stakeholder. For example, for the EST, they will mostly audit in the like so this is October, right? Yeah. So my EST mostly audit in August, in September. In September, because it's the time we prepare to have the sales pitch. So the ESD will like really intensively audit at that. But auditing is not a thing that we only audit one time, but we need to audit like from 3 to 4 times, because for example, at the first audit, we will know what is the current situation of that member and we will give feedback. But we also need some pop-up audit after that to know whether that member is improving based on our audit or not. But my ESD cannot be the one who like do the following up audit, but that follow up audit need to do by the sales team leader. Yeah, so which means the frequency means in my suggestion, like each member should have at least from 3 to 4 audit, and the first audit can be do by ESD, but the second and the third of the member need to do by the sales team leader to keep track whether that member is improving after each audit or not. Yeah, and it's really depends on the capacity of that member. For example, if that member is really fast learning, so after just 1 or 2 audit, that member has increased the capacity a lot, so then after that you don't need to audit that member anymore. Yeah, so it's really flexible and case by case, as long as it meets the objective of improving members capacity.
Okay, thanks, V.
Yeah, cool. So do you have any more questions?
Guys, you guys can ask now if you have any, because we I think relatively in the whole commission, she's the most experienced one regarding self audit. So please do ask if you have any questions. Okay, cool. I think, yeah, that's really great. Thank you so much, V. I'm sure they like, personally, I like your sharing a lot, and thanks for your information. So if you need to have any questions you want to ask, you can always go to Ask V. And if you want to know, also like ask for resources as well, you can also ask her. So, and also yesterday we also do a co-working space as well. So I know that not a lot of people are coming, but it's okay. So you can still check the output on it. It's more or less the same, but it's a working time for people to do it together. Just like, so it's okay if you are not there, but like you can always approach V as well in terms of like how things doing it in on ground, like how she's training up salespeople, because you can really see like how much she spent effort into the network education, and it really shown on her results like how different it is, like compared to other entities. So do we like make good use of it, because that's the last month that you can do, and you can see what's happening on ground before you end your fish fee and go into replanning. So this will be also very important as well, besides train up your members in terms of the sales. But I think like there will be one more question I want to ask V is, do you use this to design your structure, like sales team structure?
Like for like use the audit, right?
Yeah, like guys, yeah. You
Yeah. So like actually it can be like, for example, in the past when I start my term, I haven't like had the like audit input to use it, but but from now when I audit it, I can use it for the next term, because like we can use it to suggest the number of salesmen. So it will not like adjust much in terms of like what team that LC should have, but whether like in that team with this current member who how many member more you need to recruit. For example, if you have a very like talented two salesmen, like really high capacity, then maybe you only need to have like one newbie like that. But for example, if two of your members, they are like still like very like have not much experience in sales, and then actually they will need help a lot in like holding lead. So maybe we will need to have like from two more newbie or two more member from other department or from other team to go to sales team in order to solve to do the CM, because we have CM, so it's a really heavy but really important job for the member to have sales meeting.
I see.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much, V. Thanks for sharing. Any more people want to ask questions if you want? So do really do it, because you're going to go to replanning very soon, and you're going to replan your NEC as well. So make sure you know what's happening on your sales on ground as well. Cool. Thank you so much, V. So thank you so much for sharing. It's really cool. So let's have the next sharing. So the next one we have is from Doan, like sharing about OGT safety measure. Are you here, Doan? Yes. Hi.
Yes, I'm here. Hello,
Hello.
guys. Hello,
Oba.
guys.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I'll share my screen. Just wait for me. Okay. Oh my God, I feel a little bit shame compared to B session because I didn't prepare a lot like B, but I will explain as much as I can. Okay. Hello, guys. I'm Doan Kim, MCVP projects in South Korea. Yeah, the thing I'm going to share is about safety measure for preparation. So, I think every you guys have safety measure and plans for our customers, but why this pick like cause of a brief and simple PPT? I'm not sure it can be good GCP for you guys, but I will share it. Firstly, yeah, this is like my safety measure. Like this is about COVID-19 health and risk management guideline. Also like ISAC in Korea is if COVID-19 break happen. So my thought process for making OGX safety measure is making the safety protocol that every EPs can believe and follow us when it comes to safety problems. Uh, Actually, I did market research on August to September, and there were so many feedbacks from people who participate in our market research. The feedbacks were like they don't want to go over right now because of a safety problem about coronavirus, and they keep asking how your organization can provide safety. If you guys don't reply, then they will say we are not using it. So maybe this situation is also same with all you guys. So I felt it is really important about making this carefully. So the factors I really take into consideration when designing are these three things. The first thing is like use official materials from WHO or government. Why I focus on WHO or government, maybe you guys already know, the most reliable information to the people are from big organizations like this WHO or government. So I use this kind of materials for making it. And second, like I think this is the maybe GCP. So like I really try to make it brief and simple and looking good, and I'm trying to make the LC can easily understand what's going on to if EP go, or also like they have to make the safety major guideline so EP can to make EP understand what they have to follow, kind of SOP. So that's the reason I'm really focusing on making it brief and simple and looking good. Actually, I saw lots of GCPs from other entities which makes the safety management plan, and when I saw them, they were really great. Those safety measures like made in the Google Excel sheets, like also we have it, but they are really systematic and have lots of informations. But it's really hard for my LC's capacity. So I'm trying to think how to like my LC can understand uh, to follow and understand like what's going on to make EP to feel safe and how to support the EP. So I make it like a one PowerPoint. So maybe you can see like make it to look like a really brief and looking good. Like this is also from the WHO or like government, but uh, they think looking like kind of this PowerPoint, they think it's more looking easy, and they can really think they can just find the contents in this PowerPoint. So also like every LC has to use these like materials for doing sales. So yeah, also so I give the like making the this what I say this these materials like everybody looking good. So maybe I can show you like this through the link. Yeah, I got this. So yeah, in this like PowerPoint materials, I put in everything like what EP has to know and what sending entity has to know, and also if the break situation happens, like what ICX will do. Like I refer a lot from the ECB or ICB. So yeah, I make it like so my LCBP said like they want to know like divide it like to for the EP or for the sending entity, and if the case happen, what is OGX will do or what is like ICX will do. So there is the guideline before from the ICB, so I use it and I refer it to making the second one like this COVID-19 break situation. So oh my god, yeah. So maybe you guys can see this. I share it like if opera break happen, like what is really important to my LCBPs will do, and also like what is EPs like a kind of protocol. So yeah, I make it to what is really important for them, and actually I put it my strategy in here. So lots of EPs like ask if the COVID-19 break happen, then is it the reimbursement is it can possible or not? So actually our MC team like decide to give the full reimbursement because COVID-19 break happened until January. Then we are going to give full reimbursement. So I also put it in our strategy in this like break situation in this shit, and actually they think it's really, as they talk to me, it's really easy to understand if the approval break happen, what is our protocol will be. So also like I highlight the what is really important to they know. So this making the material like looking easy is like kind of a GCP, I thought. Yeah, so yeah, this is like, so like I will share this link after, maybe there is a link in this output, so maybe you guys also can see. So I will explain more about like uh, what is like my main three things like really focus. So yeah, brief and simple and looking good is like my second thing, and the third thing is maybe I refer a lot of other entities, GCPs, and also ECB and ICB, because actually before I made this safety measure, there we I saw already there are some guidelines from other ICX from ICX or like OGX other entities. So because we are the IR partners, I have to understand what ICX our IR partners will do. So I studied a lot about them, and actually I'm trying to make the matching them. And also, there was the like guideline from ICB and also ECB. So I'm trying to like working together. But actually, I handle whole of the ECB right now. So I actually ask about like what I have to do making this safety measure from ICB, and the actual ICB coach helped me to like give guidelines what you have to do. So I just wanna talk about it. Is if you guys already have, I think already have it, but if you want to make the synergy, I think it's better to make the synergy with your ECB. Yeah. So uh, when so actually the another thing is that what I make the synergy with my team is uh, I did it alone with my ESD a little bit support, but when I do it, actually other entities like I saw they make the whole like a full safety measure from the operation side, so MCBP operation side. So if you guys can make this I think get advice. Also, I get the advice from my I6, and maybe you guys also can get support and make the synergy with your MCVP operation. And I'm not sure this safety measure is enough because until this week we are in the exam period. So, but I think this, but our EP always, potential EP always asks me, uh, do you guys have a safety measure or like how guys you guys like the provide the safety when COVID-19 happened. And this protocol, like my LCBPs and EST do the kind of simulation, and they said it's quite enough. So we're not sure because until October, we are in the exam period, we didn't check, but I think it can be good impact for these my EPs. So also like we are not sure it's enough, but so we are also trying to get the feedback from other LCVPs. Actually, this is like national materials, what I made, and in the compliance metrics, maybe you guys already see that all LCs has to get the safety guideline for the destinations or like the safety, how to provide safety for their LCs. So uh, all whole else is like make this kind of safety guideline for their EPs, so they will make it by themselves more detailed. So after they make it, I will audit all of them, and actually if there is something I need to change, I'm trying to make the change, like trying to make the implement about this material. So um, also I still keep checking other entities GCPs, so if there's something we need to add, we are really focusing on it. So I wanna, I don't know, like I saw already you guys have a lot of GCP or like already have a safety and a health and risk management guideline from ECB side. So if you wanna make guy this this thing, I really you guys wanna focus on making it firstly please like working with the ECB and also understanding other ICX side. And I'm not sure your LC's like capacity, but I really consider about like my LC's understanding level, and also they need to give the support for the EPs. So please, like I think it's really good to make it brief and simple and don't keep good for by like for the EP and the LC for the LC. So yeah, this is the link. Maybe you guys can see. Yeah, and I think I'm sorry that I cannot like prepare well, but is there anything, something you guys have question, and I will reply.
Thank you so much, Doa. Anyone want to ask questions? So if you want, you can ask now. Yeah. Dana, you have questions? Oh,
No
your face.
from me, Phyllis.
Oh, okay, cool. How about other people? Do you have any question want to ask? Are you clear? Oh, okay.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So, what kind of things or what kind of fields that we should consider when preparing OGT side safety measures guideline booklet? That means what kind of standards that we should focus when we are going to prepare that one?
Oh, okay. Firstly, we are going to, this is really similar with like just basic OGV and the OGT like both, but the EP has to go to ever, so there are lots of things that happen include COVID-19 situation. So if the EP goes, if he has a problem in our realization, then we need to think about how to handle and how to we should do for this EP get safety. So also you have to understand maybe your focus is our partners from your country. So you have to, I think we have to understand other ICX, our partners like ICX, like how they can provide a safety measure. So yeah, you have to firstly understand about your IR partners ICX like safety, like protocol, and also you have to give the direction for your LCVP's OGX, like OGT, so how they can provide the safety for this EP. So maybe you can check in the, if the break situation happen, like what OGX has to do in this kind of situation happen, also what ICX has to do for this kind of situation happen. So understanding ICX and OGX side, what they have to do for the LC, and also understand the ICX like a strategy for safety.
Cool.
Okay,
Any
thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Pansan, for your question. Thank you, Doan, as well. Any more other people have questions? Okay. If you know, reply then. Yeah, thank you so much, Noah, for sharing. Hope we will see you soon again, maybe. Okay. But yeah, thank you so much for that. So without further ado, we will have last I think around 30 or 40 minutes before we end the space of today. But then I actually prepared discussion space for you guys because this will be the last commission call before you go to APOP. So next month, we're not going to have commission call. So that's why I want you guys to talk more to each other before we end the space. So, okay. So if you want to, okay, so for the GCP sharing, later on you will get the slides as well. So if you want to find the slides, okay, go to click this link, okay? You will find the slides there, okay? So in case you have any questions, you can also approach them. If you don't know what is their contact, that means you didn't check the group for too long, okay? So check the group, find them, and talk to them, okay? So before we go into discussion, a few more heads up for November to recap again. So yeah, just to keep you guys a bit fresh in mind for it. And yeah, thank you so much for V and also the ones sharing. So it was really cool. So to recap again, like here are the November focus, okay? So a lot of them we have delivered the material already, so do really check it. So the first one is about the qualified lead analysis. I know a lot of you guys are start working on your system already, but then a lot of you guys ask us like, how should I talk to marketing? What should be the conversation that we should have? So if you don't have the system, you haven't worked on that, like check this co-working space output, then you'll be able to find all the material you need. Second, if you want to know, okay, how should be the conversation look like, then you can check here. This is the so this is an example on how Nee and I doing a synergy meeting between marketing and OGT. So really check it, and we also have all the note takings as well. So it was really great. Like we have Rifik, Dana, and also Pansan there. So yeah. So if you have struggles to talk to your marketing, do check it out. Second, for November, for sales capacity audit system, so really go look into it again, because that will be the last peak you're going to do approval. I mean, last month to do approval. So really check in your membership, like how is the status right now? What's happening? Do you have enough member? If no, then you need to prepare your talent planning in December with your team together already. And if you have enough member, whether your member are in good education and they are aware about what are things they need to do. So if not, then you need to see what are the support you need to do for this upcoming 1 month, and how you should plan your NEC better for the coming semester, okay? So the third one will be, after APOP, we'll have some small space before your replanning to support your NEC design as well. But what we need from you guys is please fill in this sensing survey, because so far we didn't receive a lot of response, like a few, but then it will be very hard for us to generate report and also insight as well. So do please really fill in the survey for us. And one last two things. The first one is about preparation. So just now the one has been sharing about like how to design a safety measure guideline already. Okay, so if you don't have it, make sure you at least have a basic one. Okay, this is my call to action for you. They are people and they are EP. Okay, I mean they are human. Okay, so let's care about the experience and let's care about their safety, because yeah, they are not just your customer, but they are also a youth that inside of your country as well, okay? Last but not least is about food preparation. Just now we have talked about what are things you need to prepare before your operation you come to Operation Summit. So really check it out, and also finish your plan your timeline, because you're gonna do for like at least 3 weeks. So plan your timeline, how it should be the timeline look like. Do a proper review on it, and make sure you onboard your LCPB to transfer your transition for your lead, and also the EP that are realizing. Okay, don't forget the EP that are realizing right now. They still need an EP manager in 2021. Okay, so make sure do arrange for it in the transition. Okay, so then here coming to the discussion space. Yeah, because this will be the last month we together as 2020, and a lot of people like telling me, yeah, my network like don't know, you know, like they don't want to run GT anymore, or like they feel very hard, like confused, all those stuff. So that's why in here we're going to let you guys have some time for discussion space. So so there will be 2 questions, but then we will go through the first one first. So I actually put you guys into groups already. Sorry if you don't like this group. Next time ask Fatih allocate you to another group, okay? But then I want you guys to have 10 minutes to go to your group, okay? I just randomly assign, okay? Don't ask me why. But then
Not everyone has name in Malaysia have Malaysia.
Oh really? I'm sorry, Dana, okay? You know you call Malaysia, right? Sorry. Oh, I know Fatih won't go, so it's also okay. So like, okay, what I want to say is like you can go to your group, okay? This is the Google Meet link, okay? So you can mute yourself in here, but then go to another link. So you don't need to go out of the Zoom, okay? So I want you guys have some time, okay, to recall your why are you here, and why you are running OGTA or oGTE, okay? So you can, what you can do is you have 10 minutes time, so, and you can like type on this slide. So just want to note taker for yourself. Is it clear for everyone? Okay, so I want you guys to talk together, okay, and then type, okay? Yeah, so let's have 10 minutes time. I will put a clock there, okay?
Output discussion output was right from Susan. She said that GTA is actually a relevant product in Isaac India currently because, yeah, GV was focusing on education and quality education, but seems not. I think the GV is not active, but then we are taking GTE as a product to provide, not to replace, but we have our own value proposition itself. And then also she said that people in India, they have not much opportunity to go for internship abroad. And I think that she said that GTE is actually a product that actually provide people to go teaching abroad and it's still relevant. I think for Malaysia wise is actually, why I'm saying we are still doing is, I think for current context, Malaysia has, we're having third wave and people are working remotely. And I think that we are actually following the trend. I think that the product is actually relevant for people to train to work remotely if the highly remote opportunities are available, in a good number way. And second thing, what I figure out from my talents itself that we have in EPs Malaysia, they're still lacking of confidence. They don't believe themselves is actually capable to go for interning abroad. I think this is the product itself, right? Like boost your career in what they call internship abroad. I think that's why I think that the youth in Isaac in Malaysia or youth in Malaysia, they're supposed to experience this product so that they can be more confident to make sure that they actually have the belief they can go intern abroad. And from Pasan, he said that only attractive products GTA or GT, but GTE is a failure as a separate function. Better to combine with GTA because of due less number of opportunity, partly remote internship practice is not working with GTE. So yeah, we can have more context from Pasan because he's not able to talk just now. This has a mic connection problem. That's all for me.
I see. Thank you so much for your sharing, Ahad. I think, yeah, like that's really great. I think I do agree that, yeah, there are a lot of youth out there are still lacking of opportunity, like still unemployed, like they are lacking of working opportunity to learn and improve themselves. And imagine like you are them and you are wasting the time that you have. You cannot find opportunity to learn, and you can only sit down there and wait. Like, how does it feel, right? So yeah, but I do think for GTE, right? Yeah, we don't have enough focus on it. I think there are a few reasons. Like first of all, is about the S&D, which mostly our teaching right now is language teaching. So a lot of them need native speaker. But if you're running GTE, do really ask your IGTE partner is, besides language, any more other things that you can actually explore and teach. Because if you look into before, when we have teaching under the oGT product, that is also a product that their teaching is also like not developing very well, and that's why most of the people only raising language teaching. But then if you look into the whole teaching industry, there are way much more things that you can teach rather than just language. So that's why I think SE is separating it. But I do agree that we need to look into how we can develop GT in a longer run, and how we can write better. But then, yeah, I think that's great to listen to this group of sharing. I hope you find out like what is the reason that you running these products in your own entity. And let's have the second group from Ahad, Doan, and we. Okay, so anyone want to share from this group? No. You see, V even have a background in GTA. How much she liked the product. Maybe next time our commission code, hey Fatih, we should change our commission code. Everyone have the same background. Look like me. Like either GTA or GTE. You cannot have other background. Okay, cool. Anyone from this group want to share? No one Ahad and V? No. Yeah, we can check which one I agree. The one you want to share? Empowering others.
Anyone can share.
Oh, V, do you want to share?
Okay, because usually I talk a lot, so I try to talk less. But okay, I think that's what we need now, the people who talk a lot like me. Okay, I can share. Okay, so for us, so first for the one, so the reason for him to run for GTA is that because he really believes that the youth need to know more about our LDQ, like to learn leadership and learn our LDQ, because she has a friend who to GT, and the friend finds really good. So yeah, I hope I understand right the one. Yeah, okay, so that's first for him is about leadership, and secondly for Ahad, so for him it's about to develop the youth professionally in the area of skill to become more externally relevant. Yeah, so I think it's really concise and the sentence is really good. Yeah, it means like as I understand, it means like when the youth they can develop their professional skill, they can use that skill and to contribute to the external trend and to be relevant with the external trend and like contribute in to the world. Yeah, so that's for Ahad. And for me, so first it's about to be relevant with the problem of high unemployment right now, because of COVID. So lots of youth, they are having the thinking that they just waste their whole year within this year, and that, and they think that's the reason that they can slowing them down in achieving what they want in the career goal. Yeah, and so that's why for me, if we like at this moment, what we're trying to do now is that like especially when COVID go, we still have like lots of opportunities for them to go, and especially like the need of internship experience still there, so we can like as Isaac, we are still trying our best to find some alternative solution, like partly remote or full remote, so we can still serve the need of improving a youth career path, but of course still need to like ensure their safety as well. Yeah, so first that's for me is about like to be relevant and be adaptive, so the youth can know that no matter what, there are still many opportunities for them from Isaac to develop their career, and COVID will not be a reason for them to think that they will be slowed down in achieving what they want in their career. Yeah. And secondly, it's more personal in about Vietnam a bit. So for me, it's about to create a positive branding for Vietnamese talent, because sometimes people, like some company, they think that Vietnamese talent is not very good, and they may prefer some other countries, and because like they think we are like a not very developed country yet. It's like a developing country. But the fact is, when I study in my university and talk with all the ASEC in Vietnam, I can see that we are very smart, we are very like confident, like, and really like have the potential. So that's why if more Vietnamese talent can go out in the world and show what we can do, so the branding of Vietnamese of Vietnam and in specific Vietnamese will become better in the eyes of the recruiter internationally. Yeah, so that's for me.
Hey, thank you so much for Bees and her group share. I think that's also really cool as well when you think about like developing leadership through our products, and also, you know, developing them professionally as well as building them confidence. I do really agree, because like in this generation, I would say like how our education system designed to educate us is not really like about like it's more like developing what are skills, what are the knowledge that you have, but we have very less part of it to develop themselves as a person internally, like the qualities of yourself, like for example self-confidence, for example like your behavior of learning. And these all things is what we are missing right now in our education, and it requires like informal education like us to provide people opportunity to really learn and develop themselves and see how much they can really contribute and impact the society in a professional way. So I do really agree with all of you guys. And here I want to drop you guys a question. You can type in the chat box to tell me whether you have it. I want to know, like, how do you feel after you have this conversation with other MCPP? How do you feel actually? Oh, guys, be silent. Huh? Oh, I should remember guys today. Yeah. So how do you feel after you have your conversation? Do you still remember why you're here? Okay, I hope you do some, but if not, it's also okay. But then the second questions, right? A lot of you guys tell me, yeah, like your membership are losing hope, or like, you know, they don't see why they need to run GT. Maybe, yeah, Global has asked you to shift your focus. That's why we run GT more. But then, you know, like when COVID ends, maybe people will back to GV again and all those stuff. But then I want to ask you a question is, when was your last time to discuss this question with your commission? Do you still remember that?
1 month ago.
1 month ago. Okay, that's not bad. How about other people? Same. Okay. Oh, that's cool. 1 or 2 months ago. Okay, that's a really good sign. I do really like a lot. But then just remember that this is always a question that you always need to question the people that working with you, why they are still here, why they still running for this product. Because I can for sure tell you that running GT all 3 weeks ago. That's cool. Yeah, I like do really question it, especially the time when people may think exhausted. They may think that, yeah, running GT is hard, which I personally agree with it. Like, it's not never easy to run GT. But then that's the first question I want to ask you guys is always remind and always talk to your network to understand why we are running this. Maybe the answer you hear right now will be different from like 1 month ago, 2 months ago, but this is a self-discovery process, and I will tell you why. So here I want to share you guys some of the story that of my journey. Yeah, so the session is called Final Words from 1920. So I was RMGE 1920, and you know the product restructure, right? So I become RM OGX 2020. Nice to meet you guys. My name is Phileas. But then is that a final words, right? Maybe you can think it as a Chinese class that Phileas is going to teach you some Chinese. That's what usually Dana talk about. Like, yeah, Phileas like to teach me Chinese, and sorry if you don't like Chinese, then Okay, just 3 as another language, okay? But then I want to tell you that like counting down from my last 11 weeks in my ISAC journey, I'm counting down actually every single week how many weeks I left will be staying in ISAC. These are some of the things that I wish I know it earlier, or I wish that I witnessed, like, or that is something I also want you to know, like after I have been staying in ISAC for 5 years. So the first thing is, if you look into it, right, actually I have been many functions before. Maybe I shared with you guys before, I don't know. But then I start my journey with OGV, and actually I was also doing IGV as well when I was MC. I was also marketing, I was TM, I was finance, I was GE for both outgoing and incoming when I was RM, and I was even MCP as well, like in an entity, and now I am outgoing global talent and outgoing global teacher. And you can see, right, I have been in many, many different roles. Almost all of them. I would say the only one that I never been in is BD, which that is that is a zone that I really cannot step out of my comfort zone to do it, because it's my weaknesses. But then you will see most of the things in ISAC I do try in my life already, and I can tell you some of the things that I have discovered after going through all these functions. The first one is MCP is the best experience. Okay, if you thinking about MCP role, if you even have a slightly thought slip through your mind for it, do really apply for it, okay? It's okay even you don't get it at the end. Like Connie also applied for MCP of MOC as well before, but then just challenge yourself. If you really have a thought thinking about like MCP role, go for it, because that is a role that you will never regret, okay? But this is not the topic of today, just sidetrack a bit to tell you. But then what I want to tell you is, after I go through all these functions, I can tell you that GT is the hardest function. People say it, and I agree. That is true. From my understanding, yes, marketing comes second, I would say. But then GT is always I think from my experience, is the hardest one. And I will tell you, like, you will say, yeah, like that's so hard, you know, I'm so stressed, like I don't know how to do, like it just cannot see the impact I want to create now. Like I have been hurting these many times. I'm not sure you hear from your members or not. But then I want to quote from Simon Sinek. He was talking about like, when you're working hard for something that you don't care, it's actually stress. But if you're working hard for something that you love, that is called passion. A lot of people, when they're working hard for it, I don't think that they are always stressed. Yes, it is hard, I would say. It is not easy. But then, do you still remember where do you start? Like when you're in this product, like what makes you are here? And a lot of time, maybe it's just about how we expressing in our language and in communication. A lot of time you say, yeah, I'm very stressed, but looking into another way is, do you love the things that you are doing right now? Do you see do you have your own reason to do the things that you're doing right now? Do you have your own reason that why you need to run an OGTA or OGTE right now? And if yes, and when there are things coming up, many things in your play, think about it again. To you, is that the way that you feel your passion, or is it the way that you feel your stress? Because that can be two things very different. I can say, yeah, like in the past whole month as my role, I do really have a lot of things in my plate. But then, and then I will sometimes I will like overwhelm all those stuff. But then it never stops me. The reason is because I know the things that I'm doing, I love it. I love this network. I love to work with you guys as MCPP, OGTA, or OGTE. And to me, it recalls me that is my passion. And I remember that feeling, and I really will remember it. Like after like 1 year or 2 years, I will still remember it, and I will not call it as stress, but I will tell it, I will recognize this feeling of myself is called passion. And I also want to challenge you in the same way as well. Whenever you think like, I want to tell the network I'm stressed, or when I want to tell myself that I'm stressed, ask yourself again, is this your passion, or is this really your stress? Because the way that how you express it can make a difference on how you're seeing the stuff you see right now, and it will change your behavior accordingly, okay? So this will be the first thing I really wish you guys to know, because I was a person that who always say that I'm stressed, I want to quit, and I don't want to stay in ISAC anymore, but at the end, I still stay here for 5 years. And I will also say that like being among all of the roles that I have, I will say yes, for experience-wise, the best experience I have is MCP role. But then I would say that like the role that I learned the most is actually really OGT. The first reason is because of external relevance. A lot of people ask, right, okay, why I need to stay in ISAC for that long? Of course, yes, impact, contributing yourself, but at the end of the day, it's still about yourself, right? And a lot of people ask, even right now, and when I go to find jobs, my friend will still ask me, do you think the things you learn right now in ISAC really helps you in the outside world? And when I recall again, yeah, some of them maybe yes, some of them maybe no, but I would tell you that OGT, or at least GT as general, that is the role that you will learn the most if you learn it in the right way. And I can tell you why. Is because all of the function I have went through before, most of them, the things I need to learn is inside of ISAC. Just like whether I read it, whether I search it on the hub, whether I, like just check it out and implement it. But then there's only one function that I have ever experienced, and it takes me so much time to always go on Google and finding something to learn, is really this role as GT or OGT, or when I was like, okay, internship in general. Yeah, because that is the time that I find that the things that ISAC give me is never enough. Like, it's not like GV, you have a global project, you bring it, you can go direct sell. It doesn't look like this. Every countries, every territory, the situation will be very different. The way that your country grow, maybe they face the same social issue, but then the way that the economic direction, everything will be different. So if you don't challenge yourself to always go and learn by yourself and learn about your countries, learn about your territory, you will find that like there's actually not much things to learn compared to other like products or function. But then in this function, I can tell you that the things that as RM, as AI give you will never enough, and you really need to search on Google to really learn by yourself and figure out what is your answer, what is the answer of the talent solution of your own country or territory. Okay, so this is the first thing, and I want to ask you guys how much you guys spend time to learn by yourself outside of ISAC for this function. Okay, like it can be your MCP role, it can be for your like products role, but how much time you really spend on it. Okay, so really reflect it again. I don't know your answer. If you have, you can type it out there. Feel free. But then if no, then I think you can really think about it, because at the end of the day, when you go outside of the world, there's not much people can teach you, okay, A, B, C, D, E, follow that, then you will learn. But a lot of time you need to learn by yourself, and then you need to execute like from your idea. And that's why you're unique, and that's why you will not be replaced by machine. Yeah. So secondly, I would say why this program, I would say it's because of the whole impact that you can see. Yes, there are lots of people like they need, like they are in different like circumstances, and they are having social issues, and they are waiting for us to help. Yes, like that's why we have Jimmy. But then the real things that it help people to improve their life is only two things. One is education, and the second one is through education and experiences, they can find a better job, and the job will change their life. And that's why when you look into the chart, I would tell you that Asia Pacific needs it. If you're looking into the unemployment rate in the past decades, you can see our unemployment rate, okay, the yellow one, okay, we are actually increasing and increasing. While we are talking about like, we are more developed, all those stuff, but then actually we are actually increasing in unemployment rate, which means there are more and more youth outside of, in your own country and territory, they are actually unemployed. And if you see the trend, except East Asia slightly dropping, most of the sub-region that inside of AP, like both Southern Asia and also Southeast Asia, the unemployment rate is actually increasing year by year, even before COVID. So these are the people are waiting for you. They are waiting for you to able to find them a right opportunity to improve themselves, not wasting their time waiting for a job, but then they really have an experience, can teach them and improve them. So that's why they can be more comparable, and what they will be employed and they can change their life. And that is the things that they are waiting for. They are waiting for you to make a change on their life. So I would say the impact. And the last thing I would say, not directly correlated, but I really want to share with you guys is how I see myself changing in all these years. So I'm not sure how many of you work outside of your own country before. Yes or no? Okay, you can no, right? Okay. Yeah. Have you guys tried to work outside of your own country? Ahad? Or you just stay in Pakistan? Ahad? Never. Yes, right. I think most of you guys never do it, but I think I'm very grateful that I didn't work for internship, I mean GT or previously GE before through Isaac, but very grateful that I has been working outside of Hong Kong for 3 years because of Isaac, okay? I mean, if you're interested on international MC or RM, do really apply for it to be Swati successor. But then what I want to say is, after all these 3 years, I met my EB team again, the LCEB. The year that before I leave Hong Kong, I was with these people. And they are now everyone get a job already. Yeah, they may be like wealthier than me. They may have more money compared to me. And sometimes I will even ask Xiaomei, like, do you think actually if I leave Isaac earlier, maybe I will living a richer life like them right now. But then I see the difference when I meeting them again after 3 years. I would say the biggest difference is the mindset itself. Working abroad really helps me to open my eyes. A lot of time when I'm working with them right now again, right, for some alumni stuff, I can see a lot of them are using like a very straightforward mindset on like how things should be run. Like, yeah, that's how Hong Kong running things. And then a lot of time I see my differences in terms of how I can bring in new perspective to them, how I can like giving them some new insight to change how the way that we are doing things right now. And sometimes I may be even the one that will coach them back to see things more positively or see in another way, while they are like when they are seeing things quite pessimistically. And I see how much I have changed in these three years after I seeing like go back home and see these people again. And I'm really grateful for my decision of leaving my home territory, hometown for these 3 years to see myself being so different. And I can tell you it's because all the diverse environment that I have been living and all of the people I have met. So that's why I can tell you that even I never go on GT before, but working abroad in another like cultural context and environment do really make me change. And I am very grateful to see like the current self of me. So this is my story about like after these 5 years. And what I want to tell is, how about yourself? Like, how much stories that you have collected? This is a theory called the cookie jar theory. You can search online, it's quite famous. I think I shared some of you before. So it's about a lot of time people ask, right, how we can keep ourselves motivated, how when I see challenges coming in, for example, right now you are in COVID, you will say, yeah, it's so challenging, like I don't know how things can work it out. But then ask yourself, do you have a cookie jar that keep all this moment that you overcome challenges, you see the impact, you see like who you are, and you put all this story in your cookie jar? So according to this theory, whenever you have challenges, big challenges coming up, and if you feel tired, the best thing is open your cookie jar and get out your cookie and eat it again. So do you have your stories with you? Of course, I can tell you story is for, telling your commission like what I'm doing right now. Although I know I'm not a good storyteller, but it also for yourself as well. These are the cookies that going to save your life in your coming, I don't know, like coming 8 months, okay, or like even after I leave as well, right? or like, I mean, Fatih will be there, everyone will be there, but at the end of the day, the one who can keep yourself motivated is you only. And you need those cookies with you. So if you don't have it, I will start challenging you to bring sticky notes, okay, to be your cookie, and start writing down your cookies. And wherever you feel down, you feel stressed, open your cookie jar again and find back your reason to be here, okay? So yeah, so what will be your story in your cookie jar? And it depends on you how you're creating it, okay? So yeah, and I want to share you guys like 2 Chinese saying. Okay, sorry if you don't like Chinese, I'm sorry for that, okay? But that's the only language that I know other than English. So this Chinese saying, you don't need to know how it reads. The only meaning is about, yeah, that will be very tough when you're running GTA or GTE, but then joy often comes after sorrow, okay? Sorrow, yeah, that's how it is. And then it's like morning after the night. So you may think that you're in darkness right now. I cannot see the future like in COVID, right? But then I can tell you that this is also a challenge that like you may be overcome, like need some more time, but then in the later time you will more when you overcome it, when the dawn come, you will see the joy, and it will be a very remarkable cookies in your cookie jars that it will bring for your whole life. Even within Isaac, if you continue with Isaac and even know, and when you get outside of Isaac, this will be also a cookie that is proud for you to share with everyone, is proud to motivate you again, okay? And you may say, yeah, like, so how, like, you know, like I still need to overcome it, and how I can do it. And then I will tell you the one more saying is called 條條大路通羅馬. Okay, it means like all the roads can lead to Rome. Okay, let's go travel a bit. Okay, I don't know where it's coming from, but then from what I know is it is in the center of Rome, so they have many roads, right? So what it means that actually to go to Rome, you can have many different roads that it still works. Okay, so it depends on you how you can find your road to go to Rome. Okay, yeah. So yeah, originally there's a task for you guys, but I think I overspent time. So these are some of, yeah, so what I want to challenge you is in the later time you can read it again, but I want to ask you in the last 1 month, what are the things that you can do, you can get out of here? I would say, yeah, a lot of you tell me, yeah, my IR partner, you know, don't have much opportunity, like I don't have much option, but then I would still think that you will find your own road to find your role, okay? I cannot tell you which is the role. Like, yeah, you have a few IR partners, you have these opportunities, and you can see what are the opportunity coming up already. And it depends on you how you can work with your IR partner. So what will be your road to go to the room? And I want to challenge you for it. So I'm not going to give you a discussion space here because we are a bit running out of time and we need to go check out. Yeah, but then I really want to challenge you for it. So you will type it later on in your feedback form. But then the last things that I want to share with you, but this one onward is not about OGT anymore, okay? It's just my personal story after living here for 5 years, and I want to tell you guys. Okay, cool. So the last one is, okay, I'm sure you guys know what is this, right? Isaac Way. Then I want to ask you for this part, especially why and how. What is your own definition for peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential? And we place our confidence in youth for unlocking a better future, as well as believing leadership is the fundamental solution. So yeah, so let's have 1 or 2 sharing. I want to listen to you guys, like how you would define it. Close camera immediately. Anyone want to share? How do you think about it? What is your definition? Like, how will you express in your aha?
Okay, so for me,
Oh yes, who is that? Yes, Lee. Hi, Lee.
yeah, so for me, first it's about peace and humankind potential. So for me, peace is about like to really feel peaceful in you, and then bring uh, that peaceful belief and peaceful vibe to the world outside, because like and peace, because that's what I think for me, that's what the world need, that people need to find their own peace and stop like messing around with other people miss peace. And for the people and the humankind potential, for me, so it's really simple to is to really unlock what human is, because human is a really like a wonderful kind that let that hold lots of like things that even us, we don't even know what's happening inside us, our body. So that's why we need to try to unlock all of them, so not waste the gift that this universe has gave to human. Yeah, and so that to achieve that, that is why leadership, for me, is really important to play that role, to like find your peace and unlock your potential. And as the youth, we can be the best one to do it, to unlock ourselves first, and then unlock other people around us. Yeah, so that's for me.
Thank you so much for these sharings. Any more people want to share? I think that's okay. Yeah.
I want to share. I think for me, the word peace is actually how I describe PNF is actually for myself is about when I'm having any challenges or whatever I'm facing at the current moment of crisis. I want to find a way that I can be calm in the current moment. Example, I need to be solve that challenges so that I can be actually be calm and not actually messing around with my head so that things get more severe. So this is how it is how related to myself, which is for PNF. So for me, it's about why we believe that leadership is actually, I think leadership is very important where we have to take the action to solve what the things in front of us. I believe also leadership is about initiating, which means start taking action. So that is how I believe. Yeah, it's my own belief. Yes.
I see. Cool. Okay. So I really agree with all of you guys, and yeah, I do think that your definition is really cool, and I hope that you keep it. But I also want to challenge you. One more thing is, every year or every half year or even every quarter, do challenge yourself about what is your definition of PNF and what is your definition of developing leadership in youth, and why is for the future, because it really takes me 5 years to understand it. I still remember why I have this thought is like I think last two weeks ago I went back to my home LC, and I talked with the LCPP oGT, and she was the one who delivered accents like for the home LC induction. And when I talked to her, I was like, oh, how do you think about PNF and all this stuff? And then I remember she tell me her own definition on that. And it recalls me how I think when I was LCPP. And when I look back into all my past 5 year experience, I would say every single year I have a different definition on it. And it really really depends on how you define it. There's no right or wrong answer for it. I remember when I like just like when you study Bible, right? If you are religious, you study Bibles, like they have the script itself, but then at the end of the day, like how does it meaningful to you, it depends on how you're defining it. And I think in this 5 year, I find different definitions along the way when I experience more, when I talk with more people. So do really refresh it. And how and why I want to say this with you guys is because for me, the biggest realization after 5 years is to really understand what is the role of leaders. What is the role of, for example, you are also the leaders of your entity as well. So what is your role here? What is the things that you will do because you are the leader of this organization? And what are the things you won't do because you know that your role is the leaders, but not your team members. So really trying to understand when you have a clear understanding on the role itself, on what you should do and what are things you should delegate for other people, you should educate other people to do, then you will gradually find why you have why you are leaders and why you're developing leaderships. And why this is very important is because that's how it bring it up to PNF. Because imagine, right, all of the company, there's someone to be a leaders and there's someone to be team members in the workplace. And if there is people that who able to lead their people better, the impact that you create is gonna be very different, because those people's life, their team members' life will gonna change because you have a better team, they have a better team leader and they can lead their team members better. So that's why their life in, I don't know, like in their workplace, and even their life like outside of the workplace when they are in their family, it's gonna make changes. It can make so much impact. Just simple as in, if your kid gets sick, if you have a good leaders, they give you a day off for it, and not giving you a day off for it, it can make a so much difference on a family already. So I really try to understand what is the role of leader and how to become a good leaders. And I really want to share with you guys another quote from Simon Sinek. Is about leadership is not being in charge. It's not you sitting here and you in charge of the role. But then at the end of the day, leadership is about taking care of those in your charge. That means it's about taking care of the people that you are leading and developing them. So I would challenge you to think about the people you in charge are improving right now for a better future for themselves. A lot of people say that, yeah, join ISAC, you know, like it develops you. And a lot of people question, yeah, ISAC, a lot of education is internal, because we never go search outside. We never see how outside works. And at the end of the day, whether the things I learn in ISAC right now, it will brings me to my future career path, and whether it's still relevant or not, right? And I would say that this is a question that you need to question yourself. Did you bring in something new to learn, to let your members to learn? That's why they can become they can have a better future for themselves. And at the end, it's not about ISAC is improving, or your members is improving, or yourself is improving, but it's about we are improving together. That's why we have our better future together. So it's not about like you are growing performance or not. It's not only about you developing yourself or not. It's not about your members learning or not, but it's everyone should be improving and learning together. And we should never stop learning inside of ISAC and outside of ISAC as well. Yeah, so that's all for my sharing. I hope you enjoy it. I really not good at this kind of section, but I hope you enjoy it. So yeah, so at the end, I want you guys to fill in the feedback form. Let's take a picture first, and then we can fill in the feedback form. And do really help me to fill it in, because it counts out.